What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Monday Night Figure Ball YouTube channel. I am one of the hosts, Fig Fury. You all know me. Most of you all know me. Anyways, this video is going to be about my Star Wars collection, my new updated room tour for that. I really hope you like it and enjoy it. If you do, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, liking the video, and anything else. Just leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our merchandise, Monday Night Figure Ball. That link will be in the description of the video or down below. And yeah, just enjoy it, man. Let's check out some Star Wars figs. Let's go to it. So here we're looking at some of my card backs I have on display, ranging from the 40th anniversary Black Series Empire Strikes Back. Then we have some of the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Black Series. And, these just all look great. On this card back, it really hits hard. Up next, we have some of my Clone Wars card backs, Anakin, Grievous, and Art Trooper. That Phantom Menace Qui-Gon is amazing. And then we have these carbonized figures, which just on the box with these colors really pop. I really do like that Vader. Here are some of my TVC card backs I have on display. They look really good on the wall. Here are some more TVC card backs for my collection room. From Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and Clone Wars. They just look really cool on the wall, and the card backs will always be nostalgic for me, so I love displaying them that way. On this display, we have some card backs from Star Wars 77, along with an Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan vs. Anakin, and Stormtrooper Luke and Han from the Black Series. Here is my Black Series Darth Malgus, Nihilus, and Revan. Here is my Black Series Emperor with Throne original release, SHF, Return of the Jedi Vader and Luke, and Black Series Imperial Guards, Royal Guards. Here is my Darth Vader display of the Black Series Damaged Vader from Kenobi, along with the Hyper Real Vader, and then just other couple Vader pieces in my collection. This is the first shelf of my Hot Toys display, a premium addition into my collection room. All these four figures are amazing. The Obi-Wan Clone Wars is probably one of my favorite figures in my collection. Same with that Anakin. It's just amazing. You guys all know what Hot Toys do. If you don't buy one, this Darth Revan, they knocked it out of the park. I love this figure. Very cool, awesome. And that Jango Fett just goes hard. Yeah, I love all four of these figures, and every time I go into my collection room, these guys always get my attention, that's for sure. This is my second shelf for my Hot Toys display. On the shelf, I have Luke Skywalker from Mandalorian Season 2, a Dark Trooper from Mandalorian Season 2, which has die-cast metal pieces to it and looks amazing on the shelf. The Luke Skywalker is a favorite figure of mine and definitely has the most Mark Hamill likeness out of any figure I own. He comes with a Dark Trooper bust, which has light-up features as well. Then I have the Darth Vader from the Kenobi series, which is an amazing figure and has light-up features for his chestplate, belt, and lightsaber. This shelf overall is amazing and looks great. This is my third Hot Toys display shelf. On this shelf, I have Beskar Mandalorian, the first release by Hot Toys. Amazing figure with lots of good accessories. He comes with a Grogu figure as well. Next is Captain Rex from the Clone Wars, the original release from Hot Toys. Amazing figure, amazing representation of the character. Then there's the 501 First Clone Trooper, which was gifted to me by some really close friends in this community. You know who you are. And then last but not least is a really cool Beskar armor Mandalorian from Season 1, Episode 1. Awesome figure. Altogether, these four look stunning on this shelf. Here are my Black Series helmets. The Phase 2 Clone Trooper and the Mandalorian Beskar helmet. Both are fun to wear and look really cool on display. This is just a quick setup display. It's my Mafex Luke Skywalker from Mando Season 2 force pushing a Black Series Dark Trooper through the air. For my sequel trilogy representation, I have some Black Series figures like the Rey on her speeder bike, And then I also have a few pieces from Walt Disney World Galaxy's Edge, like the giant mouse droid. This makes a very nice shelf to look at. This is one of my Clone Wars shelves, and on it you can see, I want a blue one, I want a red one, I want a yellow one, I want a purple one, I want a gray one, I want a flying one, I want a Jedi one. But for reals, this is a fun shelf. It has a lot of different clones on it from Vels and Hasbro. It has a custom Anakin I made, and it has the Battlefront 2 Jet Troopers as well on flight stands, and it has Mace and Obi-Wan and Anakin leading the way. So yeah, it's a great display. Lots of cool figures. This will be my prequel trilogy displays, starting with this first shelf, which has some Attack of the Clone representation with some B1 battle droids, Padme, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu, and some Phase 1s from Attack of the Clones as well. To the right of them, I have these battle droids, B2 battle droids, which are amazing figures. I have a Magna Guard, and I have General Grievous from the Black Series. I have the Jango Fett and Count Dooku from the Black Series, which is another banger. And I have the newer Darth Sidious flanked by 2 Coruscant guards. For Revenge of the Sith, I have Commander Bly, some other clones like Cody. I have SHF Obi-Wan, which is one of my favorite figures I own. There's some more Jedi from Revenge of the Sith. That Ki-Adi-Mundi is just beautiful, amazing figure. SHF Yoda is next level. Highly recommend him and Ki-Adi. SHF Mace Windu is great. The rest of the Jedi are cool. They look great all together. And then I have Commander Gree back there. And this display, I really like how it came out. It's the SHF Anakin leading the 501st to execute Order 66 on the Jedi Temple of Coruscant. In front of him, I have a couple other Phase 2 clones as well. For the Phantom Menace display, you will see an SHF B1 unit, amazing figure, the new release of Darth Maul, some pit droids, Obi-Wan Kenobi with a custom robe, young Anakin, Black Series original release Qui-Gon with SHF accessories, Black Series Jar Jar, Padme Amidala, and Mace Windu. In this display case, I have a recreation of the Duel of Fates. Amazing scene, some of the best music from Star Wars, and these 3 SHF figure arts represent it so well in the 1/12 scale. I really like how this came out. This is probably one of my favorite displays in my collections. Here we have a continuation of my Phantom Menace display. I have a STAP with some B1s around it and a B1 piloting it. I have an in-box Black Series with retro packaging, Darth Maul and his speeder. An out-of-box Darth Maul and a speeder. Amazing set, very fun. Comes with a probe droid. Great figure, great vehicle for the Black Series. I really do like this figure a lot. One of my favorites. And then, of course, I have 2 Destroyer droids, aka the Droideka. For this part of my display, it is inspired by Return of the Jedi Endor moon scenes, like the iconic speeder bike chase, which features Luke Skywalker on a speeder bike and a scout trooper on a speeder bike from the Black Series line. Also, some custom 3D prints from my fellow MNF creator, Zooboy. This really pops and it looks really awesome, even better in person. Definitely a favorite part of my entire collection. Now we have Chewbacca, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Endor gear, along with some Endor Rebels. And then we have C-3PO and R2. And the highlight of this part of the display is definitely the Ewoks. The Black Series kills it with the Ewok designs, especially Wicket. The sculpt, the paint is amazing. You also have Pablo and Tebow in there, and they just look phenomenal together. It's a fun scene, and they look really well displayed with every other figure on this Return of the Jedi Endor Moon display. I really appreciate all these figures, and what I can do in this display. On this shelf, it is inspired by Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace. I gotta say, this is a really fun one for me. It just encompasses everything that is Jabba's Palace. As you can see, I have Jabba, I have some Gam guards, one of them getting into trouble. He's guarded by an HK unit. I got some monkey lizards, Salacious Crumb. Just really fun figures, and a scene that I feel like any Black Series collector, if they can and have the room, should definitely try to do. It's just a lot of fun. One of the coolest parts of the movie. And there's more than just your regular Jabba's denizens in here. We got Hondo and Brutus making a deal. And of course, we got Hondo's monkey lizard hanging out. We got the infamous Dewanawanga Bib Fortuna. We got some bounty hunters up to no good. And of course, Jabba's prized possession, Han and Carbonite. All around, this display is just a lot of fun. And I hope to add more world building items to this as time goes on. But for now, I'm really happy with how this came out. This shelf was highly inspired by the bounty hunter scene from Empire Strikes Back. The various figures I used here really give off the feel from that scene, like the array of stormtroopers, the Death Star gunners, Grand Moff Tarkin, even though he's from A New Hope and dies, but he just fit in the scene very well, so I displayed him here. The Empire Strikes Back Black Series Vader, which is probably the best Vader from the Black Series line. Then you have an amazing Mafex figure. Top tier Boba Fett. It hits all the right marks for a Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. Even in a basic pose like that, he looks phenomenal. Then you have the rest of those bounty hunters, including the Mafex Forlom, which is another amazing figure. Just standing still or in a crazy pose, it's phenomenal and fun to mess with. You have Black Series Zuckuss, Bosk, IG-88, and of course Dengar, rounding out the bounty hunter to complete the feel of that scene. In front of them, you have an imperial meeting of officers and commanders waiting for their next orders from Grand Master Sidious, aka Emperor Palpatine. The 3D printed pieces in this display are from the Zoo Boy, my fellow MNF co-host and friend. They really add to this display, and so do the figures I have. I love it, and it looks awesome. I recommend everybody have a Bounty Hunters display in their collection, because why not? Now let's take a trip to Tatooine, the infamous planet from Star Wars 77. This scene is definitely inspired from that, and some of my favorite figures in Black Series are the Tusken Raiders and the Tusken Chieftain. Here we have the land speeder that Luke uses in the first movie with Obi-Wan cruising with them. We got some Jawas trying to sell off a rickety R4 unit. And of course you got the Mudhorn egg, a delicacy to all the Jawas out there. Just a fun little diorama I put together to represent scenes from one of my favorite movies. I have some representation of some Clone Wars heroes and villains from different eras. It's a really fun shelf. On this shelf, I use risers to really show off the characteristics of these figures. On the villain side, we have some awesome characters and figures like Cad Bane, Pre Vizsla, Clone Wars Darth Maul, SHF Count Dooku, Asajj Ventress, and several other just really cool action figures that really make this section pop. In the front, we do have some various colored B1s from different media sources, as well as a Republic security droid, which is not from this era, but it kind of fit the aesthetics of the shelf, so I put it here. All these look great, and I even have a custom painted Mando in there as well. I also feel that Pre Vizsla, even though it's on one of the worst bodies in the line, when he's on a flight stand, he looks amazing. And that Senate Guard is a really cool figure too. It looks really well on the front lines of that display. Moving on over to heroes of the Clone Wars eras, we have some ARC Trooper representation from the 2003 Clone Wars, some Umbra ARC Troopers, some classic ARC Troopers from the Clone Wars 2008 animated show. We got the 2003 Mace Windu with some custom fists, Padawan Ahsoka, Hu Yang, Rex. We got Ahsoka's Troopers, Season 7 Ahsoka, and one of my favorite Black Series figures, Obi-Wan Kenobi in Clone Wars armor, and Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars armor. For this shelf, it's a mixed match of Republic Commando video game figures, Bad Batch figures, some Halloween clones, and just a custom Jedi and his clone unit from Vels. Bad Batch Season 1 or Clone Wars Season 7 Bad Batch is my favorite look of the characters. Overall, this makes for a pretty cool display. Here we have some Book of Boba Fett Mandalorian figures. All of them are pretty awesome, especially the SHF Boba Fett with Throne, the Black Chrysanthemum by Black Series, and Fennec Shan Black Series figures are awesome as well. A lot of Blue Mandos. You got Paz Vizsla in there. Sweet character. You got Migs from Season 1 Mando, which is a great figure, underrated. Q90 as well. You got the original Season 1 crew, and then you also got Cobb Vanth in there, as well as the SHF IG-11 figure. All in all, it's a pretty cool display. This shelf has some of my favorite figures in the line. Various eras here, mostly EU. The Balin and Shin are Black Series figures that I did customizations on to give them the proper height and some paintwork. We have the Comic Maul, which is a cool figure. You have Starkiller in there, which is an awesome figure. Darth Malak, Darth Revan, Bastila, Lightside Revan, all amazing figures. You have a custom Starkiller there as well. And then you got some prototype Boba Fett's, Darth Vader, and some Purge Troopers. This is just a compilation of various scene inspirations from various Star Wars movies, mostly Rogue One and A New Hope, or Star Wars 77. I have X-Wing pilots there. I have a little Rebel meeting with Princess Leia, Akbar, Lando, some Rebel troops with potential Death Star plans, maybe. We got Saul Guerrera, and then we have Yoda and Ahsoka meeting to discuss the future of the rebellion, or something like that. Anyways, I just thought it looked cool on the shelf, and that's pretty much it for this one. Man, some of these figures are just awesome. That Saul Guerrera goes real hard. This shelf is another nod to Empire Strikes Back, the goated Star Wars movie. I have Dagobah Luke and Yoda training in the Dagobah swamps. It's a very cool little display piece there. And you can also see Yoda's hut in the background. Over in the display case, I have some Empire figures, the must-haves. I have SHF Kenobi Vader to represent Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back, even though it's inaccurate. It's a great figure and it looks awesome here. There's also the Mafex Boba Fett and the Superior Officer Veers with some stormtroopers. You have Bespin Luke, Lando, Bespin Han, Bespin Leia, R2, 3PO, and Chewbacca. Overall, this is an amazing display. This shelf is dedicated to Star Wars 77. First off, we have a group of Sand Troopers, one on an amazing Dewback figure by Hasbro's Black Series. One of the Sand Troopers is a Mafex figure, which is really cool. In the display case, we have SHF figure art Stormtroopers and the 77 Vader. Amazing figures. I love how that looks in that case. In front of them, we've got the OG Grand Moff Tarkin. And then on the risers, we have the cast, the crew, the heroes. We've got SHF Luke Skywalker, SHF C3PO, SHF R2D2, SHF Chewbacca, Black Series Han, Obi-Wan, and Leia. I just love how this looks. Can you say Stormtroopers? We've got a lot on this shelf, and they're all amazing. Everything from Scout Troopers with shields, Scout Troopers on speeder bikes, Stormtroopers with artillery, Shadow Troopers on Shadow speeder bikes. Just a collage of awesome Scout Troopers and Stormtroopers. I think this came out really cool, and it really adds to the top tiers of my shelves. Some of my favorite Stormtroopers are on this shelf, like the Artillery Trooper as mentioned prior. This is a unique display I created to really highlight and emphasize how imports have changed my collecting habits and to show some of the best imports from Mafex and SH Figure Arts and the Star Wars line. You have Luke Skywalker, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, and Din Djarin the Mandalorian. All four of those figures are some of the best 1/12 figures ever made. On top of the cool Star Wars sign, we have Cal Kestis. Now we have some more imports. We have the Mafex Rogue One Death Trooper. We have the SH Figure Arts Boba Fett. And we have Black Series Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. There's that beautiful display case again. And here we have the SHF Mimbium Stormtrooper from Rogue One with some Black Series variants of Stormtroopers. I really do enjoy how this came out, and it emphasizes how much I love import Star Wars figures. With this shelf, I recreated the Battle of Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. There are some snowtroopers, an AT-AT pilot, and an amazing probe droid taking on some Hoth rebels, and Luke and Han on their Tauntauns, who are being chased by two angry and hungry Wampas. I really like how this came out, and it's a very fun display, and always cool to look at. I'm looking forward to the Black Series releasing some newly tooled snowtroopers to add into this display. Are you ready to party? Party like it's 1977 in an alien cantina? Well, if you aren't, you are now. We got two of the Mortal Nudes rocking out to their space jizz all over. And then we got, of course, the iconic scene of Han Solo versus Greedo. Hashtag Han Shot. We got all these other Patreons just doing business, having a drink, chilling. Moma had to step up because Doc Endor had to take a leave of absence from the shelf and go to a very special friends collection. As you can see, there's just a various amount of cool alien figures in here from all eras of Star Wars, and this is a really fun setup in my display. Here I've incorporated some Rebels figures and some other various media figures. It's basically a setup of good versus bad, dark side versus light side. You have all kinds of cool dark side characters like Old Man Maul, the Grand Inquisitor, and they're taking on Kanan and the Rebels crew, along with Cal Kestis and EU, Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade, and Princess Leia. And this is just a fun display. It's almost like playing with your figures when you were kids. So I had to have that type of representation on my shelf. I'm also hoping that we get more Season 3, Season 4 looks for some of the Rebels characters and new characters from Rebels as well. For this section of my collection, I represent Rogue One, Andor, Han Solo, and then just various stormtroopers and troopers from other media. I really do like a lot of these figures. As of me recording this video, we just heard that we're getting an updated Director Krennic figure with photo reel, which is cool. It's going to go great on this shelf. The Scar Squadron troopers are amazing, like Krill and Mike, and hopefully one day we get the rest or more characters from that squad. You got some TIE Pilot figures in there, and all kinds of awesome figures. There's so many on this shelf, but I like how it looks. The final shelf in my display is a various amount of custom figures, kit bash figures, video game characters, figures, some random Wookiees, Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader suit, unburned, undamaged, some jump troopers, incendiary troopers. Overall, just a cool representation. These are some of my hanging vehicles and figures. First off, we have the Enfys Nest speeder with Cobb Vanth piloting it. Then we have a Micro Galaxy Squadron, a LAT gunship. And then we have the infamous Black Series Snowspeeder. This thing is a beast. The coolest vehicle the line has ever done. And I have it hanging on a really strong harness. It's not going anywhere. And this thing is just awesome. It's pretty big and it takes up a lot of room, so hanging is the best way to do it, in my opinion. It's not as heavy as, let's say, a TIE Fighter, so you don't have to worry about it falling. But yeah, just amazing piece in my collection. Also got Luke in there, and of course his co-pilot, Dak. I mean, you can't have a snowspeeder without those two in it, right? So yeah, it's an amazing vehicle, and I hope that the Black Series does another vehicle of this caliber. And last but not least, I just wanted to thank all our channel memberships here on Monday Night Figure Ball. Your support, all the times you guys interact on our live streams, it just really means a lot to all four of us. And I really want to appreciate everyone checking out this video. I hope you all enjoy it. And again, this is just for my Star Wars section. In the future, I will be sharing the rest of my collection in video format on the Monday Night Figure Ball channel. Don't forget, again, to like, subscribe, and always check out our Monday live streams. We stream at 8:15 Eastern every Monday. It's always a fun chat. We get a little crazy in there. We talk about everything Star Wars you could think of and various action figure lines as well. So, thanks again. Peace. So now that you've watched about 30 or so minutes of action figure displays of Star Wars figures, as customary to our live streams, I have a little treat for everybody in this video. Your Unc Fury has to do this. A little dad joke from the infamous book that, again, if you watch our live streams, you would know all about this. So I do apologize in advance, as it's going to be a really bad joke. And, ready or not, here we go. Which planet do Sith like to visit for a vacation? Scare if.